That smell. You know, I totally remember as a kid that wonderful kind of spicy smell. I would always get excited. Now, getting the Christmas tree was a big deal in my house. The first week of December, we would go and get our tree. Now, the whole family would dress up. We'd put our toques on and our mitts on and our scarves on, and we'd all pack into my dad's 1978 black Buick Regal. Now, mom and dad would sit in the front, and my brother and I and my sister would sit in the back. Now, I was the oldest, so I got to sit behind the driver's seat. My brother was on the passenger side, and my little sister was in the middle. No seatbelt required, of course. Now, the drive to go get our tree was about 20 minutes, and we were getting pumped. You know how kids get so excited. And when we arrived, Dad would just take a sweet old time to open the door, and he would tell my mom that he loved her and how beautiful. And we'd be screaming in the back, Dad, let us out. We want to go. So finally, Dad would open the door and then he'd fold the seat over and we would shoot out of there like reindeer high on sugar. We had arrived. Canadian Tire was our favorite Christmas tree lot. Yeah, that's right. We got our Christmas tree at the Canadian Tire lot. Now, I remember as a kid, I always thought the lights were so beautiful because they would have the whole chain link fence around with all the trees, and they had these little bulbs with the black string, you know, the little round old fashioned bulb, because this is like 40 years ago. And I just love that look. Now, my dad was the tree picking expert, the man of the house. I really don't know how he did it and how he knew that they were good, because all the trees were all tied up into like a long green stick, all twine around it. And my dad would walk around and bang them and twirl them a little bit. And I really don't know how he did it, but that was his job. His man duty was to get the perfect Christmas tree. Then he would put it on the roof and we drive back home. Once we got home, then it was take it out and put it in the Christmas tree stand, which was never an easy task. There was always something that went wrong with these old Christmas tree stand. That's a mouthful. And then he would go and get the scissors and cut all the twines all the way to the top. And then the branch would like slightly open. And I remember every year I would think, man, that's like kind of an ugly tree. It's so like tiny. Because, you know, you see those beautiful one on TV. But needless to say, Dad would say, we're going to let it sit overnight. The branches need to rest. So we go to bed. Next morning, Mom would work her magic and she would decorate the tree and and by the time she was done, the tree looked beautiful. My job in all of this was putting the tinsel on the tree. Yeah, I don't know how I ever got stuck with that job, but my job was to put the tinsel on the tree one at a time. One at a time. My mom would stand beside me and watch me. And the moment that I would take a couple and toss them in, she would immediately know. It was crazy. Even if she was turned around, it was like she had some kind of magic going on. The best Christmas tree my mom ever had was about 30 years ago. 25 to 30 years ago. Now, by that time, we're adults, and my brother and sister have a couple of kids. So there's about a dozen of us all sitting around the living room looking at the Christmas tree. That year, Mom had gotten like the perfect tree. It actually touched the roof. It was gigantic and full and beautiful. Mom had just had knee surgery, so she is wobbling in to the living room. And now by that time, the adults have all had a couple of merry drinks and the kids have all had a pound of sugar. So it is loud. The energy is like exploding out of the room. As mom walked in the living room, like my mom was the clumsiest person I have ever seen in my life on crutches. And I mean it, like it was ugly. She walks in the living room and I don't know where, nobody around her, nothing around her. She gets a speed wobble. And the first thing that she grabs that's the closest to her is a Christmas ball, which is attached to the Christmas tree. And grandma goes down, the ball and the tree follow, and she falls in the middle of the living room, all right at our feet. Now we were laughing so hard we couldn't even get up and help her. She was screaming and laughing and we were laughing. Like I swear she probably stayed there under the tree for like a full minute. Now that's absolutely one of my favorite Christmas story. Every year we get together and we talk about it. This year, mom already put her Christmas tree up. Now my dad passed away about 16 years ago and 17 years ago. And mom tends to put her Christmas decorations even a little bit earlier now because it brings her such joy. Like her house is decorated like crazy. She has these little disco balls that she pins to the ceiling one at a time. Like it's amazing. But my mom's going blind, so and she's getting older, so it's been getting a little bit harder. So this year, my niece, who now lives with her, built her Christmas tree for her. They bought a brand new one because the other one was getting old because now she uses an artificial Christmas tree. So when I showed up a couple of weeks ago, I walked in the house and saw the decorations and the new tree, and I was just like, oh, it's so beautiful. And then I look over beside the Christmas tree on the table, and there was a box of tinsel. And I thought, oh my God, like right away, it got me going. It's like, I can't believe they still make those. But I don't say anything. Mom doesn't say anything. So we sat and visit. Now I'm wearing a mask. I'm across the room from her. I can't touch her. And because of COVID and following the rules. And all of a sudden, about half an hour later, mom says, do you think my tree would look better with tinsel on it? And I looked at her and I want to say, no. But I say, yeah, I think it would. So I get up and I open the box of tinsel, and they are like by far the smallest tinsel I have ever seen in my life. They are just like the tiniest of tinsel, and I put them on the tree one at a time. And now mom, 4'11", maybe 4'10", is watching me, even though she's almost blind. And I'm like putting them one at a time on the Christmas tree because that's what and I'm just thinking to myself, this is crazy. But then all of a sudden, I feel this wave of heat go through my body. And then my eyes start filling up with tears. And I swear to God, it was like the Grinch. My heart grew 3 sizes bigger. And I was filled with emotion and gratitude because I realized that there are so many people around the world right now, thousands and thousands, that wish they could be putting tinsel on their parents' Christmas tree, and they won't be able to. So I am full of gratitude that I was able to put the tinsel on my mom's Christmas tree. Mom, I love you. Joyeux Noël. Merry Christmas, everyone.